So the bad news is we got drawn against a really good team in the last 16 of the Champions League. But the good news is we did not let ourselves down in that first leg. We came away with a draw, which means the tie is in the balance going into leg 2, the home leg, nonetheless as well. So today we're going to see whether we can get ourselves past Bayern Munich and get through to the quarter-final. That sounds like a great plan. How you doing, everybody, and welcome to part 11 of Club 4 here on my career on FM23. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we've got a game against Bayern Munich and then tentatively a game against Arsenal. However, if we get past Bayern Munich, I'm thinking we skip through to the next round of the Champions League. That's what I am feeling like is the best thing to do. Let's get through the season a little bit quicker. Let's get to what's hopefully going to be a Champions League win. I mean, that feels ambitious in our second season here, our first season with the club in the Champions League. Who knows, maybe it will be. But if you're excited to see whether we can do that today, do not forget to leave a like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, things have been pretty good, all things considered. Let's have a look at the old schedule and just confirm that. So, I think the last time we saw you was in and around this area here, the Lyon game, I think. And we actually haven't lost a game since then. You saw Lyon, and I think you saw Bournemouth as well. So since then, beat Everton, beat Huddersfield. Everton was a struggle in that game. Nathan Mackie really bailed us out. Hishek, by the way, since we've had an injury to Carl Ratcliffe, has really stepped up. Mackie had a nice little period there as well. I mean, Ratcliffe had a great game there before his injury. But as you can see, Febre's been good. Hishek's been good. It's been a bit of a thin on the ground from Alan Skinner, I've got to be honest with you. But he has had a knock recently, so he is still recovering from that. But all good, and you can see that absolute barnstorm against Bayern Munich. 3-3 in the first leg. We score first, we score second. They get 2 goals, we go ahead, they equalise in the same minute. An utter madness of a game. I was heartbroken, but I also was like, you know what, we didn't lose away from home. But we played so well in that game. So well, and I'm hoping we can do the same thing today. But in that run of form, we've done really, really well, all things considered. I mean, there's been some decent games in there. Sheffield United was a struggle. I'm not going to lie. We really struggled to get past them. And then I forgot to rest the players. So at the moment, we are looking like this for the game. Not the freshest we could be, but it is what it is. Before we go to that, though, in terms of the league, we are still first as a result of that run of form. 73 points ahead of Arsenal on 65 and also Southampton on 65. We've got a game more. So we're 8 points clear at the moment. We could be 11 points clear if we win that game in hand. Skinner is still out in front as the top goal scorer and as the best player in the league, and as the assist leader as well, and he's joint top with most player of the matches. In terms of clean sheets, Dimitri is up to 5th with 11. He has kept a few more recently, as you probably could see during this run here. I mean, Leeds United, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Huddersfield. You saw the one against Bournemouth. He's kept a few more. We've still got the best defence in the league as well as the best attack. Goal difference currently at 52, best in the league by a mile, which is really nice to see. We are also through to the next round in the FA Cup, where we have Everton. So it'd be quite nice if we could do something there. If we're being honest, it would be quite nice to do that. But none of that matters. What matters is trying to get past Bayern Munich, and this is the 11 that we're hoping is going to do it for us. It is Dimitri in goal, James Albergi, Bayrak and Boa in defence, Balarik, Mount, Herald and Febre in the midfield with Skinner and Hishek up front. Hishek has been great recently. Last game, both he and Skinner really struggled to get going. But fortunately, Febre, Herald, Herald has all of a sudden came to life. We've turned him into an advanced playmaker and we've given him the ability to roam from position. He's basically a roaming playmaker. But roaming playmaker, he's a bit further down here on the list of things he's good at. So I think we've done a really, really good job at getting him starting to play. He's started to look every bit the player we want him to be. 9 assists in the league doesn't look great. No goals in the league doesn't look great. But to be honest, he is doing everything I need him to from what I wanted from him. And I'll take that. So let's get into the game, shall we? And let's see what happens. And we've had some injuries come back. So Ratcliffe is on the bench for this game. Fingers crossed when he comes back in, he can make an impact. Because although he's not been our main goal scorer, he just has games where he just comes up with important goals. And that is so important. Now, I will pre-warn you. Got to turn 2D off. I was using that hard just to get through the games a little bit quicker. So, allow me to adjust that. There we go. Much, much better. So, on with the game, and let's see whether at home we can get past Bayern Munich. I think it is going to be a difficult task, but I don't know whether, because we've got that home advantage, maybe it will help us, but we are tight. Boa's just intercepted there. Boa's played quite well recently as well. Skinner into February. February's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Hijek is there, and Hijek somehow doesn't put it in the back of the net. What a save from, I think it's Koa? I mean, what a save that is from the Munich goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper is the former West Ham United goalkeeper. I don't know whether I ever identified him while I was at Southampton, but Koa is a superb goalkeeper. He's Germany's number one. Genuinely, I looked at him once for Southampton, and he just would have not been feasible for us to sign. He just costs way too much money at the time. I mean, he's going to be an obscene amount of money now, but it's a real battle of the keepers, him versus Dimitri, which is a very interesting thing. De Ligt is still going, by the way, as a defender for Bayern Munich. I'm a bit surprised at that. And I'm sure he wasn't in the starting lineup when I did my player instructions, but he must have been. Because you bet your bottom dollar I would be pressing him. But I think I'm pressing Bichibalu. I mean, looking at the play just there, in fact, do you know what? I am going to change it. He dwelled on the ball there. We missed a trick in not pressing him. So, Matthias de Ligt, how old is Matthias de Ligt at this point? 33 years old. I'm genuinely surprised he's only that old. I thought he would have been 35, 36 at this point, but I suppose he's still a relatively young defender in today's day and age. Below it with a good tackle there. Didn't really follow it up with anything, though. Scaling out into Mikhailo. Mikhailo looking for options. Goes back to Scaly. I feel a goal coming here, but it's just over. We get away with it. Away or home, Bayern Munich are still a good team, and we are tiring quicker than they are. I am going to drop some encouragement to the boys. We have started very, very well. Similar to how we started in the game against them at their place. The one thing I haven't done in this game that I did in that game, I put us down to positive. And I don't know, the balance of the team seemed to really work in that. Now, against smaller teams we expect to beat, I don't really like doing that, but it seemed to really work. Hishek's in here. Hishek and De Ligt manages to clear its offside anyway, but what an opportunity that was. But yeah, going down to, and I've done it a couple of times against bigger teams. Not every single time, a few times. It seems to have an effect, especially in the bigger games. We just seem to be a little bit more defensively stable. I mean, we are just kind of going for it today at the moment, and maybe, just maybe at half-time, we will calm ourselves down. What a goal that would have been from Camavinga, by the way. What an absolute strike. What a well-worked goal that would have been. But we are really tiring. I mean, Boa's not having a good game. February's struggling. Heralt is okay, but he's tiring like no one's business. We may have to use most of our substitutions quite early. And if we lose this game, it might be down to fitness. And it will be down to my mistake. I didn't rest the players properly. I skipped between the Sheffield United game and this one. And although I did rotate the team a little bit for that game, which is part of the reason why we struggled so much, I didn't really think about it. And I didn't put them on rest. It's completely my fault, completely my mistake. And we are paying for it. I mean, Mount's done beautifully there, though. But it's his pass that lets him down so often, Mason Mount. Passing's not bad, it's just his decision making for some reason, even though it's not bad in the game, it just isn't good. But Dimitri saves the Endrick shot. I mean, Endrick up front is ridiculous. But in this save, not a goal machine. Interesting. Right, we have done very, very well considering how knackered we are. We have done very, very well indeed. I'm going to say, we're not that bad. Weren't that bad. Weren't that bad. I'm not going to put too much pressure on them, but I'm making subs. Boa is shattered. I haven't put the other guy on the bench. Chenna's not on the bench. Right, Bayrak is going to go to left back. Bringing Derica on. I'm going to move him and Albergi around. I prefer Derica to be on the right hand side. That's change number one. Change number two, I think, has to be Herald. Even though he's played okay, he is tiring. So I'm going to bring Diego Tapia on. Hopefully he can just bring a bit of energy into the midfield. And I'm debating making a third change, but at the moment I might leave it at that. Or do I put... Now, do you know what? Hishek's going there. I am going to bring on Carl Ratcliffe. He hasn't played in a while, but let's bring some fresh legs and a superstar on. 3 changes at half-time. Remember, if it's level after 90 minutes, we go through to extra time. No away goal rules, remember, at this point in football. To be fair, in real life, I don't think the away goals count anymore either, and I keep forgetting that it's a real-life thing as well. Unlike that pesky group stage. Right, we are not doing anything at the moment. I was going to change to positive and I completely forgot. I kind of made a mental note and forgot about it. But we are having chances. We've definitely played better than them at the moment, but their passing has been so much better than ours has been. Right, First highlight of the second half. Albergi intercepts. Bayrak gets dispossessed quite easily. Cherky now into Endrick. Endrick. Cherky. I got his name completely wrong there. Scally now into Endrick. That's going to be 1-0. No, it's not. What a clutch save from Endrick. Dimitru. Endrick's the one who had the shots to. He's not your player. Think it through. What a clutch save from Dimitru. Right, Cherky now with the cross, looking to get it in there. It's headed out as far as Victor, who goes back out wide, but it's a really poor... I mean, it was a poor pass because it was offside. Right, we have got 2 more changes to make and a very, very tired team. Albergi's nervous. Reece James isn't playing well. Edmilson's going to come on for him. Mason Mount is tiring. Alan Skinner is tiring, but Alan Skinner's having a good game. I'm leaving him on. Mason Mount is coming off. I'm actually going to bring Declan Rice on because he can play in the midfield. I don't know about him as a Musiala, but you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's just give it a go. Right. Have faith in you. Get out there, make a difference. Right. Let's just see. Let's just see what we can do. It's another corner to Bayern Munich, but we don't have to see it, which is good. Right. Fire up. Last few minutes. We have a goal kick. Dimitru. What is he doing launching it forward like that? Dimitri just launching it forward for no reason. Right, Edmilson. And with the long... Why are we doing these long balls? I don't understand. I mean, we changed our passing style, but we should be distributing that to the centre-backs. I don't understand. Right, ball out. Skinner. He's tired, but he passes it to Edmilson. What a ball that is to Hishek. He's got Ratcliffe with him. He's got Ratcliffe with him. He's got Ratcliffe with him! And in the 84th minute, we lead. We lead. But we led in the last leg. It's not over yet, but Hishek has given us a huge opportunity with that run. He passes it to Ratcliffe, and on his return from injury, Carl Ratcliffe, the Chelsea man who was never really a Chelsea man, the former Manchester United man, has made it 1-0, and we lead in the tie. Oh. We are dead on our feet. They have... Look at the formation they're going with. I mean, that is obscene. I've debated something similar, I have to say. That is obscene. I mean, they've changed their middle completely. Look how fresh their midfield and part of their front line is. That is utterly obscene. I didn't realise Cherky didn't start, actually. Right, well, we're tackling you. Zambrana can go on his weaker foot. On his left. You hard tackling. I don't really want to hard tackle too many people because my boys are tired. Vidal I'm going to press because his sharpness isn't that great. Aletu I'm going to hard tackle. We'll just risk it. And then I want to push them all outside. So... Trap outside. Let's try and trap everyone outside as best as we can. Skinner's dead on his feet. Skinner is absolutely dead. I'm debating taking him off. But we're not going to. Oh my word. It's 4-3. We've got minutes left. We've got a minute left. We're out of time. We're through. Oh, we're through. Oh my word, we're through. Okay. Wow. I mean, our possession, we don't get out-possessed very often. Our passing wasn't good. But none of that matters because, I mean, we out-fouled them. But none of that matters because we get through and we get a clean sheet in the most important game of the season so far. That is what that was. The most important game of the season so far. So looking at other results. Milan beat Barcelona on penalties. I mean, we're that far in the future. I don't know if that's a big result, but my word. Utrecht and Man City still have to play. Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen still have to play. Juventus in the lead on that one, but Utrecht and Man City currently 1-1. That could be a tasty one. Right, so... I mean, that's very generous of him. I think they absolutely did. Right, well... We're through. And we're here. So I'm going to play these games. I'm going to stick to what I said. We're going to go through. And I'm going to see if I can go through to here. And we're going to play that game in the next one. Quarter-final it up. And if we get through the quarter-final, the next episode will be a semi-final special. Just beat Bayern Munich. What a result that is, by the way. Genuinely. Both of our fullbacks were shocking. Edmilson came on towards the end. Eureka came on. Bayrak did a decent job when he went to left back. I mean, they just bossed us on the wings. And Carl Ratcliffe, what a return from injury. What an absolute return from injury. Right. I'll see you for the quarter-final second leg. In like 2 days' time when I record it. Goodness me. Okay, don't let the same jumper fool you. It is actually the next day. I started recording quite late, so here we are the next day. But we have played all of the games up to the next Champions League game, the quarter-final second leg. So, games since the Bayern Munich game. Beat Arsenal 1-0. Jeremy Albergi with an important goal from a corner. Wonderful stuff. Couple of injuries in the game there. Marlon Boa and Hector Febre picking up knocks. Nathan Mackie got an equaliser in the game against Liverpool. We then battered Everton in the FA Cup quarter-final 4-1. Alan Skinner has been on a bit of a rotten run of form in recent times. I mean, he scored there and then he's had this black hole here. Banged 4 goals in. Lovely stuff. Then scored again in the game against Southampton. That was a tough one, I've got to be honest with you. Andreas Schelder up scoring early on. We equalised. Ended up being a very close game. A draw probably fair, but we started so slowly in that one. We then played the first leg against AC Milan. The first time as Chelsea we have played against them. We've definitely played against them as Southampton. I actually am trying to think. I've got a feeling I know when we played them, and I do want to double check one thing. Champions League final. It just popped into my head then. We beat them for the Champions League as Southampton manager, which is remarkable to think of. And then we've beaten Leicester 3-0 as well. And in those 2 games, Alan Skinner anonymous. I mean, he was anonymous in this one because we didn't start him. We rested him. But Pinamonti actually has scored 3-2. The temptation is to start Pinamonti, if I'm honest, after that. Because, I mean, look at that. But we're not going to. We're going to go with our strongest 11. Which means we're going to go with this. Strongest 11 available, I should say, because Jeremy Albergi has picked up a knock. He'll be out for 4 weeks. He's pretty much out for the season. But this is the 11 we're going to be using for the second leg in the quarter-final of the Champions League. Again, we've jumped forward a little bit, but let's see whether it's worth it. It is Dimitri in goal, Edmilson, Derica, Bayrak and Boa in defence. Rice, Mount and Herald supporting Febre at the tip of the diamonds. And Skinner and Ratcliffe up front. This is going to be a tricky one. We had the home game first. Normally we get quite lucky in the draws and we have the home game second. We started off with that. 3-1 is a good result. All it takes is for us to have a really bad day and for them to have a really good day. That's all it's going to take for this to go horribly, horribly wrong. They've got some very good players in their team, chief among which they've got Odegaard as the attacking midfielder, Dewsbury Hall and Enzo Fernandez as a midfield pair. Enzo Fernandez we know because he was our player at the start of our journey here at Chelsea. We moved him on to generate funds to build the team that we've done, that we've built. And I'm still not regretting that decision. Enzo would have been a fantastic player to have. Holt's in here. He's pretty wide. Oh, he's not a good finisher. Anyone else in that position, anyone else at all would have been a good option. Holt just wasn't the right player to have there, so I hold nothing against him on that one. We have started out really well, though, so far. I mean, they're still playing well too, but other than the fact we've not had a shot on target yet, we do look like we're dominating, but they do have a corner. Whipping it in, Boa heads it out. Holt just gets there, gets to Ratcliffe, and we might have an opportunity at a counter-attack. I mean, Skinner really wasn't that quick there. Dewsbury Hall dwelling on the ball a little bit there. I would have liked to see Skinner close him down a bit more. Tamori now, getting it to Enzo Fernandez. 2 former Chelsea players there, but it is possession loss. But Tamori manages to make up for it. Bring Pong now to Neto. Neto loses the ball to Boa. We have started out much better than they have so far. Mount now, looking for Skinner. Skinner inside, he's gone wide. Gets it into Ratcliffe, and Ratcliffe makes it 1-0. Considering Skinner is the major goal threat, and he is our top goal scorer this season, how many times have we seen a variation of Skinner's forced wide, but gets it back into Ratcliffe? Both of them could be fantastic wingers if they needed to, but they're both superb strikers as well. I mean, Febre's there in the box as well, just waiting in case there's any kind of ricochets. Well, our 9 and 10 do combine there to make it 1-0. It's 4-1 altogether, 1-0 on the night. And I think we have to be very proud of that. Now, keep glancing this way. I do apologise. Yeah, I'm recording this on a Saturday. There's football, and I'm just kind of reading what's going on as the game's going on. I really shouldn't be doing this while I'm looking to keep track of the scores. I'm mainly trying to keep track of them for my fantasy football team with my work. Dewsbury Hall now, with the ball from Milan, gets it back to Enzo. Enzo goes for a worldie, and Dimitri making an important save. I think as long as we don't let them concede too early, and I mean, we're at half-time pretty much now. There it is, in fact. I think we're at the point now where they have to have a worldly display. They need to beat us by 4-1 in this match. The difficulty is that can happen, and it's really worth our while not getting complacent. Now, I'm just going to tell these two that I'm not that happy with them. We have got Antonio Silva on the bench. Hasn't featured a lot this season. He's not been my defender of choice. Potentially, we would look to move him on next season, and I sound a bit kind of dismissive of next season there. I'll explain that in a bit. Because, of course, remember, if we win the Champions League, we're looking for a new club. That's the rule. We'll tell those guys to keep going, and we'll just crack on. 1-0 lead at half-time. Let's see if we can make it 2 in the early goings of the second half. We have a free kick. Carl Ratcliffe, who doesn't really put many of these away. He's a little bit poor on the free kicks for someone who has a good free kick rating. I mean, if we quickly get that up there, his free kicks are 15. He should be putting those in the back of the net a lot more than he does. I'm going to demand more from the boys because that one shot on target is not something I'm a massive fan of. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. We will make some changes. Hector February hasn't had a great game. We're going to bring him off for Nathan Mackie. Herald's done okay. Mount is tiring. I'm going to bring on Diego Tapia. And I'm also going to take Boa off for Chenna. And we'll give Chenna some football. And we'll go with that as the changes. I think those are 3 good changes. More offensively minded changes, but also defensive when we're looking at Chenna at left back. Again, opportunity wise, we're not actually doing that well. I am actually going to change one thing on here. Let's try and get the ball to Herald, but it'll also end up with Tapia in that area as well. And let's just see whether we can get the ball going forward a bit better and get those strikers on target. I mean, they've both got good ratings because they both were involved in the goal we scored, which has been the only shot we've had on target so far. So they've both got good ratings as a result of that. Lovely ball from Tapia there. He didn't really get enough power on it to get it past the defender as well as Skinner. But it was a nice idea. Right. Can Chenna get there? He can. I was pausing then because I thought Chenna was going to do something really stupid. The highlight continues, so maybe there is still a possibility of that. Oh, that was about to happen then. Right, Herald. Big ball forward, looking for Nathan Mackie. Nathan Mackie's in, and he puts it wide. And how many times have we seen Nathan Mackie put the ball in the back of the net this season? That was a lovely pass from Herald. But again, our forward line, and I'm going to tell them off actually, very wasteful tonight. Very wasteful indeed. I'm going to have a shout at them. They might not like it, but I don't really care. They've been very wasteful. Right, Alan Skinner did do well with the assist, but I'm going to bring Pinamonti on because he did score that last goal in this first leg, and he did score in the last game as well. Herald is tiring, but I think we'll leave him on. I'm going to bring on Reece James, I think, for a bit more about defensive stability, but he is more defensive-minded, I think, than Ed Milson. We'll just rest Ed Milson as well. We'll just try and see the game out. They've not got enough time to score 4 goals at this point. They could score 1, which which would make it a nervier end to the game. I'm not that bothered about that. I'm okay with it, I think. Right, Tapia now, looking for options. Gets to Pinamonti. Pinamonti. What's he going to do? Drifts wide the same that Skinner would, but James manages to keep the ball. Mackie can't quite get in there. Kalulu gets it back to Magnan. Magnan now launches it forward, but only as far as Derica. Derica gets it, and we go again. Building from the back. Reece James, lovely touch out to Tapia. What a ball that was. Tapia looking to get it in, and Nathan Mackie does get his goal, his 13th of the season. I wish he was English because he would be in the England team. He's Welsh, unfortunately. I say unfortunately. Good on you, Wales. You've developed a good new gen. But yeah, we lead 2-0. It's 5-1 overall. And Nathan Mackie, if he was just a little bit more consistent, glancing at the football, sorry. Manchester City are currently 2-0 up against Nottingham Forest. That's how long ago it was since I recorded this. Nathan Mackie, if he was just a bit more consistent, I mean, he would be a superstar. And I still think he's a very, very good player, but he just goes anonymous. And the only thing he really seems to provide is goals. And if he doesn't score a goal, he doesn't seem to do anything. But that is the game. We're through to the Champions League semi-final. Remember, our first time in the Champions League as Chelsea. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with that indeed. And we keep a clean sheet against a very good team away from home as well. That's important. And what a game that is from Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid, by the way. What a game that is. 3-3 on the night, 6-4 overall. A co-match who, if you remember, we did have him for a cup of coffee. He played 8 games, didn't impress us. He's gone and scored. Makoko, who they signed from Newcastle in January, and some guy called Gauss as well, put 3 past Paris Saint-Germain. But Paris Saint-Germain doing very well on the night, scoring 3 as well. They thought at one point it was 4-4. Tezgel is the one who got those 2 goals to get them to 4-4. And Mukoko and Gauss actually put the sword to them. Wow. Oh my word. And we've got Real Madrid in the semi-final. Oh boy. That's a tough one. That is a real tough one. But we do get some money. There's your headline right there. Real Madrid away. 3 games time. We've got the FA Cup semi-final coming up in our next game. We've got Tottenham, West Ham, 2 difficult games in London. Then we've got the Champions League semi-final. Then a cheeky game against Norwich. And then we've got the home leg. So here is what I am thinking. Next episode, it's Real Madrid. And it's Real Madrid both legs. We're going to play both of them. And if we win that, and we get through to the final, the following episode will be either final game of the Prem season, FA Cup, or final game of the season, Champions League final. If we don't get through to the Champions League final and we don't get through to the FA Cup final, then we might just do the Man United game to see whether we confirm the league. I haven't fully decided yet. We'll do something. We'll work it out. In the next episode, you'll definitely get the 2 Real Madrid games. Episode after that, it's either going to be United on its own, United in the Champions League final, or United in the FA Cup final, and then the Champions League will be on its own in the next episode after that. Now, I did mention earlier I seemed a bit dismissive about next season. I've made a decision just because, as I'm recording this, it's the 23rd of September. Football Manager 24 is around the corner. I am painfully aware we are close to the end of this game, which means I am going to be wrapping this save up very, very soon. It also means if we want to win 3 Champions Leagues, we need to get a move on. We've won 1. We've got a semi-final for another. If we were to win it this season, we would leave anyway. If we do not win it this season, then as long as we win a trophy, I will be looking to leave Chelsea to go to another club. It's not because I'm not enjoying Chelsea. I am. But I'd love to try and get a job abroad and do 1 or 2 seasons there really quickly. That would be my preference. Whether I get my preference or not is another matter. But that's what I'm thinking. So after that United game and any finals we may or may not get to, we will be looking to move clubs at that point. I don't know what jobs will be available. I will consider another Premier League job. I would prefer it to be a job in Europe. I'd prefer it to be a European one. Maybe Paris Saint-Germain, as they've not gotten to the Champions League. Maybe if we knock Real Madrid out, they'll become available. Maybe Barcelona. Maybe Bayern Munich. I mean, we've just put Bayern Munich to the sword back over here. You watched me do that. You saw my reaction. I'd like to play as them. Dortmund even. So many top European clubs I would like to give a go. But that is going to be for the future for us to work out who we go to. No jobs come up. I'll holiday forward until one comes up. I'm willing to take a break out of the game in this universe. Right. In terms of the Premier League table, that is how things are currently looking. We are top by 11 points. We have got 5 games left, is that? So 15 points left on the table. Not many points left for other teams to play with. We have already confirmed that we're going to be in the Europa League next season. I am sure I've also seen something say that we're going to be in the Champions League next season, but I might be making that up. In terms of player stats, though, Alan Skinner, 25 goals. Still the best player in the league, although it has dropped. Erling Haaland is closing. And Alan Skinner still top of the assist chart as well. And Rafael Capitao at Liverpool is now the 2nd top goal scorer. He did play for me in England in the international break. I'll quickly show you that, actually. International break. Let me go to England and let's have a quick look what it was like, because I can't really remember. We did play 2 games against Israel and Kazakhstan. It was a bit of a struggle. That game in particular was a bit of a struggle, but Rafael Capitao did score in that game. Jay Leathan got his first international goal as well, and then this game was a beauty. However, we've done something a bit mad. And that is use this system, which is utterly ridiculous. However, I'm trying, instead of getting a system that gets the best out of the players in the way I want them to, I'm just looking for a system that gets the best out of the players. Jay Leathon is a lethal, pardon the pun, in that position running up and down here. Saka is not normally the one there. It has been Rashford. I would consider bringing in Ratcliffe and playing him there as well. But whoever plays there has been really good so far. Seward's done a decent job. Bellingham, not so good, to be honest. I think it was more Declan Rice playing well there. I think no, it wasn't even Declan Rice. It was Stephen Whistle who had a decent game there, actually. But Phil Foden playing there was very good. And the striker just had so many players running up servicing him. And having a complete wing back here. I mean, we played this Grace Benteke guy who is formerly of Chelsea. I didn't sell him. It was already something that had happened. But he'd already played games for us. But he actually looks like he could be a decent player. He's not got a lot of potential, but he's decent enough. And I mean, he's wanted by some top clubs. So take that for what it is. Right, that's enough England talk. Those were in the World Cup qualifying group. It is what it is. We did a good job. But that is going to be doing it. I mean, that's the stats as well. We've still got the best goal scored and best goals conceded. We are still doing very well in the league. The league is pretty much ours. We would have to bottle it, but we have got an FA Cup semi-final coming up. You will not see that, though. I will let you know how we do in the next episode. But next time, you will be seeing both legs against Real Madrid. What a episode that is going to be. Let's hope that we can get through to a second Champions League final in this save. Fingers crossed we can, but that will be for next time to decide. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video for me, and do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense coming out of this channel. It's free to do so and would make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.